How did the Latin American debt crisis of the 1980s affect the region? How did the Latin American debt crisis of the 1980s affect the region? This crisis was a major turning point that reshaped economies, societies, and cultures across Latin America. To grasp its impact, we need to look at the causes and the resulting consequences. The crisis emerged from a mix of internal and external factors. Many Latin American nations faced growing fiscal deficits and adopted expansionary monetary policies. This created economic instability. On the international stage, rising interest rates in the United States, driven by increasing oil prices, made it hard for these countries to manage their debts. In the 1970s, the influx of petrodollars led to excessive lending by international banks, encouraging Latin American countries to take on more debt than they could handle. The fallout from the crisis was severe. Economically, the region entered a period known as the Lost Decade. Instead of growth, many countries experienced stagnant or contracting economies throughout the 1980s. This stagnation meant fewer job opportunities and declining living standards for millions. Inflation rates soared, and currencies were devalued significantly. This made everyday goods more expensive and reduced the purchasing power of local currencies. Families struggled to afford basic necessities, leading to increased hardship across the region. Socially, the crisis took a heavy toll. Poverty rates climbed, and access to essential services like health care and education became more difficult. Many families found themselves trapped in a cycle of poverty, unable to break free due to the economic conditions. Political instability also rose as governments grappled with the economic fallout. Public discontent grew, and in some cases, this led to protests and changes in leadership. The pressure on governments to respond to the crisis was immense. In response to the crisis, many countries implemented structural reforms under the guidance of international institutions like the International Monetary Fund. These reforms aimed to stabilize economies but often came with strict conditions. This further strained social services and made life harder for many citizens. From a cultural standpoint, the debt crisis was more than just an economic issue. It was a social and cultural challenge. The hardships people faced influenced their daily lives and interactions. Increased migration, both within the region and to other countries, changed family dynamics and community structures. The crisis also sparked artistic movements as individuals sought to express their frustrations and experiences. Music, literature, and visual arts became outlets for the emotions and struggles of the time, reflecting the realities of life in a debt-ridden society. The Latin American debt crisis of the 1980s was a transformative period that left a lasting mark on the region. It highlighted the vulnerabilities of economic dependence on external factors and the need for sustainable economic policies. The effects of this crisis are still felt today, shaping the region's path forward.